Welcome to my channel Daily Bulletin News. Brady makes a deal with Kristen, and EJ drops the charges against Kat. Brady walks into the DeMera mansion to see Kristen. He says he talked to Sarah, who told him everything. Kristen was using the serum to force Xander to give her Titan. Kristen says she had no choice. She has to prove herself to the DeMera board and is under a microscope with them. Brady says this has been about business, greed, and money, but also about herself. Kristen says she didn't do it for herself but for him. Brady doesn't understand. She tells him once she has Titan, she will hand Basic Black back to him. He doesn't believe she is asking Xander to hand over a multi-million-dollar business so he can control one part of it. She says this is for them and their family. She pleads that Rachel wants them to be together. She begs him to try and work on their relationship for Rachel's sake, and that she's willing to put in the work if he is. Brady says Victor is his family, too, and he would not want Titan under DeMera's control. He says this fantasy she has of being a family won't happen, not under these circumstances. Kristen asks if she didn't demand Titan for the serum, they could be together. He's not saying that, but they'll never be together if she intends to profit off giving Sarah the serum. At the Body and Soul office, Kate calls Philip and tells him that her gamble paid off and Vivian's been arrested. Kate reveals Vivian hasn't spoken about the letter, so their secret will stay safe. Suddenly, Xander appears. Kate says he'll call him back, and claims to Xander she was talking to her head writer. She asks what brings him here. Xander says Philip is still blocking the deal he's making with Kristen, so he wants her to stop Philip. Kate says that won't happen as she supports Philip in trying to save Victor's company. Xander tells Kate she better change her tune, or this soap opera will be dead before it hits the air. He will buy whatever streaming service their soap airs on and cancel it unless she helps him get the serum. Kate says she doesn't have the money to buy a streaming service. She notes Titan does, but that would be a risky business venture and calls his bluff. She tells Xander to let Philip run Titan and find something else to occupy his time. She notes her soap is looking for a big dumb hunk to stand around shirtless, and he fits the bill. Xander exclaims, "Damn you, Kate," and storms out. Philip visits Sarah at the Kuriaki's mansion and asks if Maggie is around. He wants to see how she is doing, given that today is her wedding anniversary to his father. She says he is welcome to wait around. Philip is shocked she's being so nice, as she doesn't have the serum because of him. Sarah understands what he's doing. She doesn't want to see Xander hand Titan to Kristen, either. She says Xander will do anything to get that serum. Philip notes, "I guess that's why he tried to murder me yesterday." Philip tells her what happened yesterday in this very room between him, Xander and the gun his father left in the safe. Sarah is left speechless. Philip checks the time and says he has to run. He says he likes her, and he doesn't want to make things between her and Xander more stressful, but she's not alone in thinking Xander's acting irrationally about that serum. He just wants to protect his father's legacy and what he wanted, which is for him to run Titan. Philip then departs. Kate heads to the Salem Inn and meets with Philip. She tells him about Xander's visit, and he's doing everything he can to undermine him. Philip says he did the same to Xander just now. He fills his mom on Xander trying to kill him, and sharing that news with Sarah. Xander returns home to Sarah. She says Philip was just here and said he tried to kill him. Xander claims Philip is exaggerating, but Sarah knows he aimed a gun at him and pulled the trigger. Xander says Philip was asking for it. Sarah tells him this has to stop. His insane obsession with vengeance has to end. She tells him they can't live this way, and her being able to walk again isn't worth him throwing his life away. Brady appears and says he spoke to Kristen and tried to reason with her. Back at the DeMera mansion, Kristen talks to Stefano's portrait and thinks he would have been proud of Brady for giving her an ultimatum and making her choose between love and money. She hopes she made the right choice. Over at the Kuriaki's mansion, Xander thanks Brady for trying but assumes Kristen turned him down. Brady says she didn't, and he hands Sarah the serum. Steve heads to the Brady pub, where he and Roman discuss Vivian's arrest. Steve then brings up Clyde's escape. Steve reveals Clyde called Chad and he can't help but wonder what he wanted. He feels Chad is hiding something about the call. Steve says Chad has been obsessed with finding where Abigail's remains are, and perhaps Chad thinks he can get something out of Weston. Roman doubts Clyde would help Chad, but Steve thinks he would if something was in it for him. Roman guesses Chad and Clyde made some kind of deal. Steve says he only heard Chad's side of the conversation, and he told him to go to hell and hung up. However, he thinks Weston may have heard he was there, so Chad may have just told Clyde to go to hell for his benefit. What if "go to hell" was a code that he's willing to work with Clyde? Chad meets with EJ at the Salem PD. He asks EJ why the charges against Kat haven't been dropped. EJ doesn't understand why Chad would make such an insane request given the grief she's caused him. Chad tells him about his call with Clyde, who will tell him where Abigail's remains or if he gets the charges against Kat dropped. EJ wonders why he wants to help Kat. Chad says he doesn't want to help her, he wants her head on a pike. Chad says Clyde won't be getting Kat's head. EJ asks why he wants Kat released then. Shouldn't she pay for what she's done? Chad wants her to pay, but he doesn't want her blood on his hands, and he doesn't want her to die. However, he's not above using Kat to get what he wants. Chad tells EJ he's going to make Clyde think he's willing to make the trade but will make sure Clyde doesn't get Kat. Stay tuned and subscribe the channel.